Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I said welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast with Andy Ruther and Joe Crano. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Morning.
Good morning.
What's going on? What's new? Anything happened over the weekend?
Well, you should know that I was over in our old hood yesterday. Did a little Venice visit yesterday. Even found myself on Mildred for a minute. And you'll be happy to know Tent City is still there. So you have a solid tent city over there. There's like as you go up Mildred, there's that like weird like dead end that kind of comes into the side, like it's just like
that goes into to North Venice Boulevard.
Yeah, exactly. There's that little like it's blocked off by like one piece of little curb. That whole area is pretty tented. But Venice on a sunny Sunday afternoon is precisely how you would remember it. Just guys walking with boom boxes and cars blaring music and the drum circle. Venice is venison.
It's a time capsule, man.
Yeah.
I bet I'd always say living there, right? The same stuff that we saw every day, like you're saying on a Sunday, is really not much different than 1950.
Probably. The cars are probably different and the music's probably different, but otherwise it's about the same.
More pit bulls, not the rappers, the actual dogs.
Yeah. Honestly, offensive to rappers, I think, to even call Pitbull a rapper. I don't think he's top 5 rappers of all time. Pitbull, Usher, JC Chazé.
Well, he's classified as a rapper, right?
Is he? He can't be. He can't be a rapper.
How did he become a thing?
He's Mr. Worldwide, bro.
And did he coin? I wonder who coined Mr. Worldwide.
Pitbull is like soccer, you know. Here we're like, yeah, we're aware of it, but Mr. Worldwide, everywhere else in the world, he's massive, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's probably why he went by Mr. Worldwide.
Yeah,
that's funny. What about the basketball courts? Did you pop over there at all?
Basketball courts, basketball courting, you know. Lots of misses. Why? A lot of double rims out there.
It's funny. I'm gonna pull up that poll that you I should have done it on Twitter as far as the double rims, because it seemed last time I looked, it seemed like the no net people would prefer. Oh yeah, we got to do this on Twitter because there's only people aren't voting on Spotify. Would you rather play on a double rim or no net? 45% double rim. 55% no net, but there's only 20 votes. So I don't know.
Some dirtball tagged us. I don't know if he tagged you. I think he tagged both of us in a video of like D'Angelo Russell playing in a gym this offseason, and one of the sides has no net.
I didn't see that.
And people are like crazy. First of all, they're like, how does the gym not have a net? But then also a lot of people going and saying like, dude, no net is like death. Meanwhile, it is D'Angelo Russell completely unfazed by it, as you can imagine.
Well, I mean, again, we don't have to agree on this, and we don't. I just like the no net. I'm not a fan. Gotta hear that.
No one's a fan. No one prefers it.
Yeah. I wonder how often those nets get torn down in Venice.
But it's like the no net double rim thing is like saying, would you rather play on a backboard that doesn't have the square painted on it, or would you rather play on a backboard made out of wood. And then you're like, well, it's not. I mean, it's a little fucking wood. Like, I don't know if we're on. Is it hardwood? Is it softwood? It just changes the game.
You go in the country, they'll have like almost like not like a laundry basket, but like a basket for a hoop.
Maybe out there in Ohio, Andy. They're like, we had to put the basket up. We could play basketball till 9:30 at night. We put the basket up. Put the peach basket on the side of the barn.
It's funny you said. I saw something. Speaking of Ohio, I'm gonna give a shout out to Cincinnati because last month.
Did you just find out the Reds are good right now?
No. Well,
by the way, I see you rocking your Reds shirt.
No, it's a Cincy shirt.
It's creeping back in.
It's a Cincy
shirt.
I'm
telling you, Andy's gonna have his Sabo glasses on by September 1st.
Well, here's the thing about the Reds. They're I said this last episode. They're exciting, especially with. I mean, De La Cruz is like, I don't know. He's got potential to be like a great player, and obviously, those like every single game. So they've played the Braves 3 times this weekend. Every game was 1 run. They lost 2 of them, but like they're fun games to watch. They have no pitching. Like the Reds have no pitching, but like they're never out of ball games. So, yeah, they're fun to watch. Will I go to a game at some point? I'm sure I will. But like I said, I'm holding out for those free tickets. Don't want to be paying. Don't want to be helping the man right now. I'm still a little hurt. But they sold out basically every game. This that's all that matters, right? People just want to see winners. They sold out every game. And I'm sure you saw De La Cruz's cycle
in the 6th.
I mean, is he like generational? Is he looking that way?
Well, listen, there's a lot. This is, every baseball fan, every fan of a baseball team, when somebody comes up and they're awesome, they're like, this is it. Do you remember Yasiel Puig equals Babe Ruth? Like that was like some hot takes. The guy. Yankees fans, older Yankees fans will remember Kevin Moss. Oh, he's only if he plays the rest of the season, he might hit 50, but next year he's hitting 80. Kevin Moss out of baseball 2 years later. It's when you first come up and no one has any book on you whatsoever. Good players, I should say. Good players tend to come up and play really well, and then it does tend to get dialed back a little bit when people start figuring it out. But he also is just an absolute freak athlete and certainly has potential. I remember when Ichiro first came over and, 2 weeks into the season, they were like, yeah, but no one knows his holes yet. And then, 5 months later, they were like, he has no holes. He's the rookie of the year and the MVP, and he has the most hits in the history of fucking baseball.
Yeah. No, it's like I said, it's fun to watch as far as highlights, since I can't watch because Major League Baseball is a disaster for watching local games. But I don't know. I did watch your boys. I was watching highlights of your boys too. The debacle against Philly in the 8th inning. Did you watch that?
Yeah, I did. Probably the worst loss of the season, and that's saying something. But the Mets just have, like, I talked about this on the slides we recorded last week. We're now at the point in the year, and this has happened if you look at the NL East the last couple of years. Oh, Braves weren't playing well when they went to the World Series. The Phillies weren't playing well last year. They went to the World Series. The Nationals a few years ago were the worst team in baseball, and they won the World Series. I am a Buck Showalter fan. I've always been a fan, but like he should have been gone a month ago at this point. You need to fucking mix it up. The guy is just like can't get out of his own way, and then they move like it's so funny. It just seems like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. They move Escobar, and then late in the game, their rookie third baseman, who they've committed to now to be the third baseman, with the error that cost them the game. It's just the wheels are off. And you need to make a change of some sort. And I said this on slides. It's like Laz wasn't in favor of he said it's too early. You don't fire Bucky. I go, we got to fire somebody. Fire the pitching coach. Fire the fucking general manager. Fire somebody. Do something.
Because we're nearing the halfway point.
I mean, All-Star breaks mid, second week of July.
Yeah. So it's gone quickly. So this weekend was the first London series, I believe. Cubs, Cardinals. And I guess this is going to be a thing they're doing. They're going to do London.
Yeah, I believe the Mets are there next year.
Yeah, the Mets, I think Mets and Phillies next year. And then you have some other.
I just can't wait for Mets, Phillies in London and English soccer hooligans to be like, these people are fucking crazy. They're eating horse shit. He's eating the shit of the horse. What the fuck is going on here?
And that's saying something, man.
Does he have a bowl of shit? He's eating it with a spoon. The game hasn't even started yet. What is happening?
I mean, if you're making soccer hooligans question your fandom as far as level of craziness, and I can see that happening. So this year,
have a couple pints, mate. You're spitting on a kid. You're spitting on a kid. It's a little kid you're spitting on. It's a picture of the queen you're pissing on. That's the queen's corgi, you butt fucking. What are you doing, mate? I think these guys are crazy.
I'm laughing so hard because, I literally am picturing all this happening.
Yeah.
It's not an exaggeration.
He punched the prince in the face.
Oh, man. And then they're doing a series in South Korea as well, I think, next year. They're, following the NFL model, trying to get in all the countries. But they were there this weekend, and, of course, Fox went, so we have some fun Big Papi stuff. Big Papi was out in London. Well, the first thing, and there's no video. I don't have video of this. I don't know if there is. Big Papi has a $100,000 necklace.
Right.
And apparently, I'm reading this article in The Athletic, and apparently, right as he's about to, or he gets out of a car in London after leaving his hotel, and his diamond necklace fell off through the grate and landed in a London sewer.
Jesus.
Yeah. And I guess they went to work right away, and he went to dinner, and he came back to the hotel, and they had it sitting there for him.
I got that, mate. I'm going there. I think I'm going there for you.
Which is pretty crazy. Also, dude, you're walking around with $100,000 necklace.
Yeah.
So Big Papi was in London, and
some kid covered in soot in an old newsboy hat. Got for you, Poppy. Are you in there, mate? I love it. He became Australian at the end.
Could you spare me some change? 6 pence, maybe?
Just fingerless gloves. Fuck yeah, for you. Have a quid.
He's like a character straight out of a Charles Dickens novel.
Yeah. Spare a quid if I get your necklace.
So Big Papi's going around in London, which in itself is a thing. So here's him on a tour. I don't know if this was on the broadcast. I mean, he's carrying a Fox mic, but this quick thing when they go by, Big Ben revealed that he had no clue who Ben Roethlisberger was when the guy tries to make a joke. This is pretty funny.
Ben coming up, Kev, you want to say, Papi, you know what that building is, that clock is? You can say, yeah, Big Ben, named after Ben Roethlisberger.
Ben who?
Roethlisberger.
Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Roethlisberger.
Wait, what does he say? What does he say?
Roethlisberger.
I like the look on his face. He's just so confused.
Roethlisberger.
Ben who?
Ben who?
Roethlisberger.
Yeah, you're killed.
It sounds like something you would get at Whataburger. Get the Roethlisberger, man. It's really good.
Roethlisberger. It's where they put the waffle fries in the burger. Roethlisberger. Ben who?
Dude, he just lives in his own world. And then Jeter made his debut as far as his Fox debut. I don't know if he's going to be a regular now, which is an interesting cast. Him, A-Rod, Big Papi, and he made his debut on the London telecast, and Papi trolled him here pretty good.
You know what? I got a gift for you.
Oh, okay.
I got a gift for you.
You went shopping?
From all of us, you know. Open it up, Cap. Come on.
Oh, so nice, so touching.
Nice. Great teammate. Oh, oh,
Turn it around, man.
Turn it around. Oh!
So anybody on audio, it's a personalized Derek Jeter Red Sox jersey.
Who is the guy?
Come on, man.
Derek.
Is that Burkhart?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeter Red
That's a
Sox
gift.
jersey. It's been a great time.
I mean, Poppy's
spending with you guys here. You won't see me.
I love A-Rod's analysis generally.
He's such a dork, though.
But if you go through this, I mean,
why does he smile?
this is
so
a full.
much?
This is like, does your does Gold Star do 4-packs of cheddar dicks? Like the 4-pack of cheddar dick box.
Well, my thing with
the 3 cheddar dicks in a box with a side of Poppy.
Yeah, my thing with A-Rod is, his analysis is fine, but if you guys watch him, he tries to be, he's just like, let's watch this. Watch his face. I'm not even going to play the sound. He's always just so smile. Like, look at him.
Yeah.
He's just always like cheesing out and smiling. Look at him. Like, there's just with A-Rod, there's like never any real emotion. I feel like they coached him up, like always smile for the camera.
No, I feel like A-Rod, and
look at him.
This is part of the, there's always the question of how good guys would be if they didn't take steroids and whatever and blah blah blah. And I always love and I love Poppy, but I love how he always gets a pass. He's like, I failed the test.
Yeah, no, you're right. He does. You know why he gets a pass? Because he's charming and he's charismatic.
Right. But the thing, I always think A-Rod would have been a great player, no matter what, because his personality, he's like Tiger Woods. His personality tells me he had no fucking friends. He just hit a baseball and fielded a baseball and threw a baseball. So, like, he's a huge guy. He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, even the women he's, like, dated over the years, like, he fucking... It seems like he's just got like negative personality. And it's like, dude, you're a good looking guy from Florida. Like, how are you not like Mr. Suave, like whatever? And it's because
you're bilingual. I mean,
yeah, it's because he lived in a batting cage, probably. That's the thing with Tiger Woods always is like, dude, Tiger Woods greatness and Tiger Woods like having sex with Perkins hostesses when he's a billionaire, they go hand in hand because he golfed so much. He's just absolutely incapable of having true human connection.
Well, I also feel like he's almost a product of so many people. Like at this point, I feel he is a team, right? So
A-Rod or Tiger?
And they probably both do. But I feel like A-Rod, they were like, okay, you need to start dating Jennifer Lopez. She's still a big deal. You're leaving your career. What's going to be the next step as you transition into being a broadcaster, commentator? I don't know. I feel like he's a yes man and he's got all these people. I just don't see him telling somebody, it's like thinking for himself.
Yeah. Either that or he was just like, I want to date J-Lo. Make it happen. And he sent out like 10 assistants to like send her flowers and shit.
I wonder what
I just listened to him on the Craig Kilborn podcast because, he's the owner of the Wolves now. He's one of the owners of the Wolves. Kilborn, big T-Wolves fan. It's an interesting interview. Like you can tell, like everything's very like scripted.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. But mostly, I think, because he doesn't know anything about basketball. So he's just like.
But my point is like, okay, you see that clip of Big Papi
yeah.
in London, and he has no clue who Ben Roethlisberger is, and he's just being himself. He's like, who's Ben Roethlisberger?
Ben who?
A-Rod would, if he didn't know, would have that smile and act, oh yeah, or like chuckle, oh, people are laughing, I should laugh too.
Yeah. It's kind of like, listen, and this is part of the greatness is, have you seen the Tom Brady Hurts commercials?
Yeah.
Dude, the Manning brothers, I think both Manning brothers have jumped Tom Brady in my fucking all-time quarterback list just based on Tom Brady's Hurts commercials alone. He's like, when I take the field, I would always say, let's go. But where am I going? Really? With the new Hurts, let's go. You're like, dude, are you a robot? Like, it feels like Jim Henson has his hand up your ass and he's working your mouth like you're a fucking puppet.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like every time you see, like we were just talking about, like you see Peyton or you see Eli in some fucking thing, you know, Eli's like flipping double finger birds on Monday Night Football. Meanwhile, Tom Brady's like, what are the lines that I should say? Great.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely no improvising.
He's like, when I use Hurts, I say, let's go. Tom turns left. It's like, oh, dude, you're not supposed to read the stage direction, Anchorman.
Yeah, no, I feel ya. He's definitely trying to transition to that stuff as well. There's a whole new renaissance with the Manning brothers. Like they did some stuff while they were playing together. Like the most infamous, I would probably say, is that This Is SportsCenter commercial.
Yeah.
But now,
I mean, they're sort of
the face.
I would say they're the leading like sports production team at this point.
Yeah.
Like Omaha Productions was in charge of the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. But you can also tell they enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
Like they're fucking around. You know, Eli still at his house. Eli's like, yeah, cool. I'm gonna do this at my house.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving. Like I'm just having fun with it. So our last episode, the NBA draft had not happened yet, right?
Correct. Because it was Thursday morning.
Yeah. So we've had some things happen since then.
Yeah. So the big news obviously was no surprise. Wemby went 1. And then Charlotte did go Brandon Miller at 2, thinking, sort of like probably a lot of people with the Blazers were kind of hoping. We already have a point guard, so why would we get another point guard? Which means Scoot Henderson falls to the Blazers, and now we have the ultimate Dame Lillard question. Is this what starts the Dame Lillard trade? Is Dame Lillard off to Miami or Brooklyn or wherever?
Well, he's got the latest report today was that he had interest in Miami for sure. Now, again, I always ask how this fits on the actual court. Does a Damian Lillard, Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo, like that 3, does that work?
I think it works. Is it, I guess, is it the perfect fit? If you could take any superstar player that's out there right now and pencil them into the third role on the Heat, who just made it to the finals in a pretty Cinderella run, who've made it to 3 of the last 4 Eastern Conference finals, who've made it to 2 finals. Probably not the perfect fit, but a good fit, I think. And I think what makes it a better fit than a lot of places is Spoelstra and Riley, which is whatever they did this year doesn't mean that's necessarily how they have to play next year. Because you add that guy. Now, listen, they don't have a ball dominant guard who was, leading the team. Jimmy, like the playoff Jimmy, he comes alive, but like during the regular season, it's sort of, he's smartly, I think, Obviously, they didn't have the best record last year, but like stays within the game. Like he's not a guy who goes out there every night. It's like, I have to score this many points or I have to do this thing. Now I feel like Dame Lillard is that guy, but I think that he's a better fit for them than a lot of teams because I think like, let's say there was a move where Jaylen Brown gets moved and blah, blah, blah. And the Celtics ended up with him or the Sixers ended up with him. I don't think Joe Mazzulla or Doc Rivers could adjust their strategy to suit this guy without taking away from Tatum or Embiid or whoever. So I think it's a really good fit for them. It's probably maybe a better fit in Brooklyn, but what is like? It's maybe a better fit in Brooklyn because Brooklyn doesn't have an identity, so he becomes their identity. But when I say a better fit, I think he makes Miami a contender more than he makes Brooklyn a contender because Miami's already a contender.
Well, and the argument too. So his argument is that he wants to win, right? And they're just not giving the right teammates. They're not building the right pieces around him in Portland, and they haven't. Now, if that's how he really feels, Miami's the place, man. Not only is Miami the place, you have Spoelstra, you have Pat Riley, and it's Miami. Dude, you went from living in Portland, all the rain, to living in Miami. I don't understand if that is an option. This is a no-brainer. You want to win, you want to play with.
Well, he doesn't have a no trade clause. He doesn't have so it's not necessarily his choice.
He can force it. You know how it's player empowerment.
He can force a trade, but I don't think he can force a trade where he wants to be traded. I mean, obviously, there's a little bit of. I don't think Portland's looking to screw Damian Lillard. I think that negotiation probably goes, hey, he wants Miami. He wants to come to you guys, but we can't send him to you guys if you don't give us a package that is as good as Brooklyn's giving us. But also I don't see Pat Riley getting fucking bullied in anything like that either. So we'll see. I think Dame moves. I think it would be dumb not to move him, honestly.
Why would you keep him at this point?
The only other option, I think, if you're them, is the reverse. And I don't think that you're close enough for the reverse, which is you have a bunch of young guys on the team who are going to be good in the next couple of years. Do you move them for players to put around Dame? But it's like, I just don't think you're close enough for that. You have good young players. You punt and you take your shot, in the post Nuggets era.
Yeah. So you had some questions last episode about Dame, and I said he'd still be there. And then you asked me Zion. I thought he'd be gone. He's still there.
I think the thing with Zion as opposed to Dame is like, what is truly his value right now when you look at all the things that he comes with, and also again the potential versus like what we've seen. I mean, we saw the Porzingis deal get done. It's not like Porzingis drew 4 first-rounders or something like the Celtics came away with first-rounders and Porzingis. Meanwhile, Porzingis has played more games than Zion has.
Yeah.
And the question's, he's a unicorn when he's healthy, but how healthy is he? It's like, we can talk all we want about potential and what Zion is. And Zion has obviously, in the games he's been healthy, like truly healthy in and played, he's been great. But what the fuck does that mean?
You see that porn star? It's got a tattoo of his. Is that a real tattoo of his name on her face?
The girl that was causing all the mayhem with him?
Yeah, she got Zion tattooed on
after?
Dude, this is like last week, a couple days ago.
She's mentally ill.
Yeah, she posted it on Instagram.
So she called him out, did the whole thing, and then tattooed his name on her face? So she's like, she could not be chasing clout more.
In her latest act, Mills posted a video of herself at a tattoo parlor, seemingly getting Zion tattooed on her face. Caption read, "Stamped and locked in." So it's real. Dude.
That's just the ultimate clout chasing whore behavior.
Bro. I mean, that's insane. Like, stamped and locked in. So it's real with a lock emoji. I don't even know what that means.
Can we get Robert Littell on to translate for us?
Yeah. I don't know. We need to break this down. Like, I mean, it looks real. I'm looking at it. It looks real. I don't know. Fucking crazy.
Oh, look. It's the girl who tattooed Zion on her face after he fucked her and dumped her and had a baby with somebody else. Want to do our podcast, I guess? Like, what the fuck is the game plan here?
Yeah, I don't know what the move is. I don't know what her move is. That's weird. So we had some trades, as we called. Chris Paul's now on the Warriors. He went from Suns, the Wizards, like. Do we put much into this at all? 38-year-old Chris Paul.
Absolutely not. Talked about it on Dirty Slides. Opened Dirty Slides with it the other day with our resident DSPN Warrior. I said, Laz is our Bay Area Sal Palantonio for the DSPN. But I said, is the Warriors' problem that they didn't have an aging point guard? Was that their issue? I mean, I think it's an addition by subtraction. Obviously, Jordan Poole there was a chemistry problem with Jordan Poole getting punched in the face by Draymond. And I said this as well, like, it's weird because obviously there's a locker room issue that goes beyond the players. The thing was also leaked, who leaked the video. But what's weird to me is the Warriors decided to pay Jordan Poole. Then Draymond Green punched him in the face. And then they moved Jordan Poole, and they're going to, like, find a way to keep Draymond Green. Like, Draymond Green's chokehold with his 9-7-7 on the Warriors front office is unbelievable.
Yeah,
like, is he just walking around executive suites kicking people in the dick? Like, how?
You know what's funny? If you've seen the thing on Dame, they're talking like if Draymond Green goes to Portland, that'll help keep Damian. I'm like, his 9-7-7.
It's like, I get it. He's a great defensive player, but, like, he's absolutely not. There's not a team in the league. There's not a team in the league that I can think of where the addition of Draymond Green puts them over the top.
That's my point. You and I literally on a podcast episode.
I mean, not the Lakers.
No.
Not the Heat.
But remember the discussion we had on this show? Where's Draymond Green, like we said, if he's drafted by Charlotte? And look, you can say that for a lot of players and a lot of sports.
He's probably, if he's drafted by Charlotte, he's probably Steven Jackson. You know what I mean? Where he tours around the league being a defensive stopper he comes onto a bunch of teams.
At least Steven Jackson could hit threes at times, man.
Well, yeah. And Draymond could, weirdly, at a time too. It's just 8 years ago now, which is so weird.
Yeah, he hasn't got any better shooting.
He's gotten worse.
But that's the thing. It's like he's not going to give that value to anybody, especially what he wants to get paid. Yeah, none of it makes sense, especially with them re-signing Poole to that lucrative deal.
I mean, I get it. I get the move in that just we're done with Poole. We got to get rid of Poole. We don't want Poole anymore. He didn't play well. He's obviously got he's got a big contract. So, like, I get the just absolutely punting to get rid of Jordan Poole's deal and taking back what you can. But, like, it seems like, and I had said it since the offseason started, the Julius Randle for Jordan Poole move seemed incredibly easy. Like both of those teams have that problem. To me, what's weird is you got Chris Paul.
Yeah.
The move now is what? Chris Paul can like run your second team?
I don't know. We have to discuss this Dennis Rodman clip that happened and was trend. He's like the top trend right now.
Really?
I know it changes. He's number 3 right now on our Twitter for the United States.
Well, I was only saying really because obviously the convo leans into a dirty sports conversation that we've had for a long time. But I also know that sometimes talking about the NBA, unless we're talking about literally Dame Lillard's trade, if we're talking about something that happened 2 months ago, there's DirtBalls out there like, let it go! The Nuggets won 3 weeks ago. Let it die. You're like, okay, guys, relax.
Well, I mean, look, before I play the clip, I always say Dennis Rodman, you have to take it with a grain of salt. He's Dennis Rodman. He's crazy, but he's also one of the best players of all time defensively. So it's like they both exist. He's nuts. Is what I'm about to play? Is he saying that just to become relevant? Because
we'll play it, and because I already obviously know what he says, but play it. I have thoughts.
Okay.
Already, but let the people know what we're talking about.
So this is what he said on VladTV, which everybody goes on this VladTV show. What's the history of this? Do you know?
No idea.
Everybody goes, though. Everybody goes. And he basically said that Larry Bird in this modern era wouldn't be in the NBA. He'd be in Europe. So anyway, this is what he said.
If Larry Bird played in this era, I think he'd be in Europe. So I'm just letting you know, man. Really, like I said, I'm just saying he would be somewhere over there. Because, I think his game was fit for Boston at that time in the 80s and stuff like that, But today's world, oh, hell no. There's no way. I'm not downplaying him because he's a great player at that time, just like I was. And but I'm saying no, there's no way. No way. I think the kid from Denver is way better than him.
Okay.
So I think there's a lot of truth to what Dennis Rodman says there, but then there's a lot of exaggeration as well. Let's go from back to front. I think the kid on Denver, he doesn't know Nikola Jokic's name. First of all, let's start there.
I know.
I assume that's who he's talking about. I assume he's not talking about Aaron Gordon. I assume he's not talking about Michael Porter Jr. I assume he's talking about the other gigantic white guy. Nikola Jokic is better than Larry Bird. Like he is.
Yeah.
Skill-wise. Skill-wise, he's better than Larry Bird in that. Here's why. Because their games are remarkably similar.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Very crafty. It's not about speed. It's not about athleticism. It is about sharing the basketball. It is about hitting open shots. It is about just like carefully and thoughtfully like picking teams apart. Both of those guys showed. Now, obviously, Larry Bird doesn't look like he's working in slow motion in the 80s. The way Jokic looks like an 80s NBA player dropped in current basketball. You're like, it's so slow. How does it work? Which is sort of proof to me that it's ridiculous to say Larry Bird would be in Europe. Like if Nikola Jokic is the MVP and the finals MVP, the idea, and listen, I'm again not disagreeing with Dennis Rodman that from a skill standpoint and a size standpoint, like there's really like what did Larry Bird do better than Nikola Jokic right now? Like, yeah, maybe he's a better 3-point shooter. With Jokic maybe in terms of he's pretty good at shooting threes, but he doesn't really take it like off the dribble or with a hand in his face. Like Bird was a great shooter and a great scorer. But let's just take two examples, and it's like it's the white guy thing because it's sort of the craftiness and the athleticism or lack thereof, if you will. Larry Bird is closer to Jokic than he is to Austin Reeves, but it's a good kind of spectrum. Size-wise, skill-wise, the way they play-wise, like Larry Bird's kind of like somewhere in between the two of them if you put him in the modern-day NBA. And Jokic is a two-time MVP, and Austin Reeves is about to get a big contract and was a starter on a Western Conference Finals team. Like, Larry Bird isn't in Europe. He's not in Europe.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's ridiculous.
And he might even be, I don't know if I used to say, I could say he might even be a borderline all-star. But he's not basketball Jesus.
Yeah,
but his sentiment remains the same. It's like compared to the quality of player there is today, you're just not a guy with Larry Bird's athleticism and skill set, and Larry Bird was the league MVP multiple times.
Yeah,
I think he won. What did he win? 3 in a row?
I know he won at least 2. Yeah, I mean, look, I agree. He's not playing in Europe, but again, it goes back to that conversation of the evolution of the game. And what I always find interesting is you never say, you talk about how they'd be now. Like, nobody does the argument and says, yeah, Wilt Chamberlain wouldn't be the same player he was in the 60s, in the 90s, because in the 60s, in the 70s, it was him and a bunch of short white guys.
Right.
But like nobody does that. For some reason, we only do that with like the 80s, 90s era.
I mean, I said it a couple episodes ago. If Kevin Durant walked in the gym, pre-2000, let alone forget the 60s or the 70s or the 80s, literally anytime, they would shoot him for being an alien.
But again, it's like I always say, I go, we don't do that with like football. We're not like, dude, Mike Singletary was great. If Mike Singletary tried to suit up, they'd be like, dude, you know how slow you are? You know how slow you are for this era? You could be able to cover wide receivers.
Like, that's the thing. Just imagine the Chiefs tight end room when Mike Ditka walks in. He's like, I'm here to play tight end. And they're like, what the fuck is this? People will be like, this is a TikTok thing, right? Like you're punking us.
Yeah.
Just some guy who looks like a English bulldog walks in. I'm your new tight end. See?
And again, same with baseball.
Imagine it's just like it's OTAs, right? And the tight ends and the receivers are out there, they're Travis Kelce. Like, what is Travis Kelce really doing during OTAs? His place on this team is locked and loaded. He doesn't have to learn the offense. They got a little basketball hoop out there. Travis Kelce's like tomahawk dunking on the hoop. Ditka comes up. He's like, hey, who wants a ham sandwich? Play a little bridge. You're like, what the fuck? I'm the new tight end.
Well, I don't. Did you see some people were getting? But we did see it in baseball this weekend. Some people were getting butthurt about Votto comparing De La Cruz to Mickey Mantle, and people were like, "He's not Mickey Mantle." And I'm like, are we really doing this?
Did you see the home run that Ohtani hit? Did you see this clip? I think it's on one of the things, but he hit a home run off of one of the Rockies pitchers, and the guy threw just an absolute heater, like a foot off the plate inside, and Ohtani turned on it and he hit it out of the ballpark. And the guy turns around and he watches it. He literally goes, "How the fuck did he hit that?" He says it out loud. How the fuck did he hit that? The idea of Babe Ruth doing the fucking cartoon like twinkle toes up to the like he starts in the back of the box and then this guy throws 100-mile-an-hour heater on the inside and he takes like 3 little choppy steps and like Happy Gilmore's it and then like runs around the bases in like fucking slow motion.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. People were like, you can't compare him to Mickey Mouse. And I'm thinking in my head, okay.
I mean, Laz and I had a meltdown on not the most recent episode of Slides, but 2 episodes back. They were like, the claim that like Babe Ruth swung like a 48-ounce bat or something like that. We're like, okay.
But seriously, so by the time, if De La Cruz ran around the bases full speed from home plate to home plate, how long would it take from like where would Mickey Mantle be at that same pace? Second base?
Yeah.
Like
and listen, Mickey that's the issue people have. Mickey Mantle was a freak athlete for his time. Yeah,
for sure. Exactly.
But just like imagine even the guys who like just 20 or 30 years after, just like imagine Deion Sanders in a leather helmet, like intercepting a ball. And then people just like, and then just like, white dudes with cigarettes just passing out, as he ran by them. Like, oh, they're like holding on to their fedora so it doesn't blow off as prime time runs by. Like they're waiting at an old timey train station. And Ryan Klatt's coming by in a fucking locomotive. Oh, hold on to your hats, folks. The Prime Express is running through.
He said, by the way, he DM'd me a picture of a derailment. I don't know if that was something that he was a part of or just something like, this is like my train porn. It was like a derailed train. And it just said train derailment. I hope everybody's all right, Ryan. I got to respond to you. Like, I didn't know if that was something that somehow he was associated with. But like, I'm not, here's the thing. I'm not liking train derailments, guys.
Yeah.
Nobody out here is trying to have shit get fucked up here.
But I revert back to the original thing. I don't know what VladTV is. It seems like,
so I looked it up. So
it seems like Rodman's going on, it seems like one of those things people go on, they get their clip, right? The clip goes viral. Like Scottie Pippen will be on there tomorrow and being like, Jordan couldn't play in this era and like whatever. But the bottom line is I think there's some truth to it and then there's some exaggeration. Larry Bird's in the NBA today. He's starting. Larry Bird's better than Austin Reeves. Okay? But he's somewhere between Austin Reeves and Nikola Jokic on the how are these slow white guys doing this spectrum.
Yeah, so VladTV is, man, he just churns out interviews. So it's a Russian dude, and his Wikipedia lists it as he's an American interviewer, journalist, and former disc jockey. And he's been involved in a lot of shit, which I've seen. Anyway, like I knew with like rappers and stuff. Like they always go on his show to like air it out.
Right.
So he was born in Russia. Oh, I bet he could.
Welcome to Vlad TV.
I know. So he was born in Kyiv, Ukraine.
Today we will be talking to American basketball great Dennis Rodman about who and which players in his era could play today. Also, we will be talking about the great Nosferatu and in which chapel he sleeps upside down in. Welcome to Vlad TV.
Sure, he has a lot to say what's going on in Russia and Ukraine right
now.
We
will talk today about coup against Putin. Also, American basketball player Dennis Rodman here to talk about having sex with great Madonna and why Larry Bird would be playing here if NBA was today. All that and more on today's episode of VladTV.
But you never see him in the interviews.
Welcome to VladTV. Today we'll break down President Zelensky in his fight against Putin. Also, we talk to American Draymond Green, who tells us why he want to bitch slap Jordan Poole as if Jordan Poole was Putin and he was Zelensky. All that and more on today's episode of Say It With Me, Vlad TV.
Dude, he just churns out videos. I'm looking at his YouTube. Like, you can't even keep track of how many he's put out. And he just does short clips for the most part. Like
today we have a Major League Baseball family, Vladimir Guerrero and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to talk about who in Mickey Mantle's era could play in the MLB today. This is a very special episode. Vlad on Vlad TV.
I mean, I'm looking. Gilbert Arenas Part 12. Like, you got 12 episodes out of, like 12 videos out of a recent interview with Gilbert Arenas. Dude, this is hilarious.
Everybody know I make my my money to kickstart TV career by selling guns. This link to our guest today, famous NBA player pulling gun in locker room. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. The name that they call my father when he was KGB, Mr. Agent Zero himself, Gilbert Arenas. On today's Spell It With Me, VLADTV.
All right, so we got a DirtBall breaking a trade here. NBA trade. Breaking news, John Collins to Utah for Rudy Gay and a second rounder.
That is an amazing trade from 14 years ago. Rudy Gay, by the way.
I know.
Like, I didn't even know Rudy Gay was still in the league. And I'm sort of a Rudy Gay stan because Rudy Gay was great to me and Pete Sestaro back in the day when we covered the 2007 UConn basketball team for College Sports Television.
Well, it's funny. Well, this is, again, like, it's all over, though. Like, it's all over the Twitter world. Rudy Gay's been around that long?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Rudy Gay started 2006, 2007. Damn. Dude, he had a nice career, man.
Oh, yeah. He's made a ton of money. He never really lived up to his college hype. He, like, in college, he just had the build and he had, like, the thing. And to be honest, the knock on him in college, and I remember it, was just, like, didn't, like, he would pass on the shot. Like, he wasn't, you know, Mr. like, give me the ball in the clutch for that UConn team, even though he was, like, the most talented guy. It kind of translated in the NBA, kind of a guy who disappeared a little bit. But also 2006, 2007, I mean, we're going on a 16-year career, 17-year career.
Yeah, why can't I get his, I'm putting in, you know, normally you can get what these guys made. Why can't I get his, I don't know how dated this is. 175 million. I don't know if that's even fully updated. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, estimated under a total cash 174,781 320. That's
There's a lot of money. I always wonder what everybody does with that.
I mean, it's amazing, dude. Like that's why sports is amazing. Rudy Gay is a 0-time All-Star, correct?
And he made that much money. No, he's had to make the All-Star game before.
No. NBA all rookie team. That's it. That's his literally. That's
Yeah.
his. That's his NBA highlight. Everything other than that on his career highlights and awards is from college. McDonald's All-American, Parade All-American, Big East All-Rookie Team, Big East Rookie of the Year, First Team All-Big East, Consensus Second Team All-American, NBA All-Rookie First Team 2007.
Here's what's crazy. He was Big East Rookie of the Year with Jeff Green, also still in the NBA.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the move, though. That just the longevity, right? Like as far as if you just want to make money, like the move. Like remember when Scalabrini? Like how many years did Scalabrini play? Like we talked about that when he was on our show. It's like, dude, I got like what do you get? Like 9 years.
On today's episode, we talk to an American basketball player who makes $175 million career earnings without making a single All-Star game. Welcome to the show. From the Grizzlies, the Spurs, the Hawks, and now the Jazz, Mr. Rudy Gay, no homo, VladTV.
Oh man, you ever watch any of those? I'm telling you, like I'll fall down to some VladTV rabbit holes sometimes.
I've never seen 1 second of it until this.
Something will be trending. It'll be just some hip hop thing I'm curious about. Somebody will be like, "Oh, this is what really happened behind the scenes," and like he is like a staple in that world, especially in the hip hop world. I'm telling you, which is like. I was just briefly looking at his Wikipedia. Apparently, he became obsessed with hip hop when he heard NWA as a kid. And then here we are. Just churn. But you never see him. That's why I was shocked to see him. Like you don't see him.
You don't see Vlad?
No, it's just the camera, at least every clip I've ever seen, the camera's always on the person they're interviewing.
I assume because the like questions that lead into it aren't like, hey, are there players in the 80s that you think like were great that couldn't play today? I think he's more like, okay, camera now on you, Dennis Rodman, say something crazy. Go.
He needs to get Mariah, like that Mariah Mills porn star, like that.
Hey, Larry Bird stinks. Say
it. That's our next stop, VladTV. Yeah. You asked, like, what's her move? Dude, she's got to go on VladTV next. He's interviewing Zion's shoe that exploded.
Everybody know on VladTV, many NBA stars come on here and I get inside them. But on this very special VladTV, we have somebody who NBA stars get inside of. Welcome to the show, porn star with Zion tattooed on her face. Just, I don't know how to say it. She's a hooker, whore, or Instagram model or whatever. Today on Vlad the TV.
Oh, man. Well, I'm going to pivot from that to talk about ButcherBox for a quick second.
Great.
Guys, I'm stoked. I have a brand new Weber grill. I've talked about that. Fired it up this weekend for the first time. Did some nice ButcherBox ribeye steaks. I'll tell you what. I definitely have a learning curve as far as charcoal. It's a lot more difficult than the gas-powered grill, but the good news is I have great steaks. I have great meat to cook on, or cook with, I should say, and that's what I'm gonna do this summer, Joe. I'm gonna take all my ButcherBox and I'm gonna be testing out the best ways to cook because that meat is absolutely amazing, and I love how it's just shipped right to your house, man. You don't have to leave; it just comes right to your door. Vacuum sealed, which I love, right?
Yeah. I told you, Andy, with the last time ButcherBox sent us some stuff, it's like you hear the name. You know, I know our DirtBall demographic is like, we're a pretty male heavy show, but I know we have some female listeners too. And I know our male listeners always have, wives and girlfriends and families, whatever. Seems like a very, get your butcher box, but it's not like that. The last time butcher box got delivered here, a week after we finished the meats, my girlfriend goes, "We gotta get that butcher box again. I like that." She goes, "Real good meat, scent. It was all sealed, and we just put it in the fridge, the freezer." It's like, man, we got to get on that butcher box again. I was like, I know.
Yeah, it's great, guys. Butcher Box is giving a great special deal for everybody. So listen up. Like Joe said, if you want to order for a birthday, for any special event, like just go over to Butcher Box.
4th of July barbecue.
Yeah, 4th of July barbecue. Sign up today at butcherbox.com/dirty and use promo code dirty as well to get New York strips for a year plus $20 off your first order. That's butcherbox.com/dirty and use code dirty to claim that deal. Once again, that's to get some New York strips. Did they miss a word here? Do I say wrong? I don't know if it's free for a year, but I feel like that's what maybe was in my ad copy, not there. They're gonna say I'm gonna have to redo this. But anyway, don't quote me on that. Just go to butcherbox.com/dirty and use code dirty. You for sure get $20 off your first order. Cook you some meat.
Cook you some meat.
I wonder what VladTV was. I wonder what kind of meat he likes to cook.
Today's episode brought to you by the box filled with butchers. This is my favorite of all of our sponsors. Come on, I have on Gilbert Arenas. I have on Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. And after the show, everybody except for Rauf, because he's a vegetarian, we sit down and I say, "Hey, thank you for yelling nonsense things that I could break out and turn into clips and trend on the Twitter. But let me make you a burger on my new show, Cooking Butcher Box with Vlad." Use promo code Vladimir for 20% off your next purchase.
So I feel like the NFL, I don't know if you follow this, like the NFL has a serious gambling problem with their players. And it's like to the point that the NFL, did you see this last week? They had to do a whole, like league wide, they had to do a video conference with all their players about the do's and don'ts of the league gambling policy. Who would have thought, Joe?
Yeah.
Who would have thought this would turn into such a problem? So, guys, for those, and to be honest, I had never really read it closely enough. These are the 6 key rules for players.
Okay, I can't wait to hear this.
And this is what they presented to the players. Yeah. Don't bet on the NFL, number 1.
I have a feeling there was like a lot of hands going up in the Zoom. They're like, can we talk about that a little bit more in depth?
Number 2, don't gamble at your team facility while traveling for a road game or staying at a team hotel.
Okay.
So I think that means for non-NFL games. Number 3, don't have someone bet for you.
Right.
Number 4, don't share team inside information.
Sort of goes without saying.
Number 5, don't enter a sports book during the NFL playing season.
Okay. Now we're getting a little bit aggressive, NFL. I'm not even allowed to go in one.
Yeah. Number 6, don't.
Meanwhile, it's like this is like everything that's wrong with sports. Don't enter a sports book during the NFL season. Also, the entryway to the Reds Stadium is a sports book now, so don't go to other sporting events.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
So number 6, don't play daily fantasy football. And these are the rules for non-NFL employees. All other non-players who are employed by an NFL team, including coaches, are prohibited from all sports betting. So that's interesting. Like players can technically bet on other sports. According to the NFL rules, coaches can't bet at all. They can't bet on non-NFL games and they can't bet away from team facilities. A new rule this year requires rookies to attend a mandatory educational session regarding the league's betting policies. So get this. This is crazy. They're tracked. The NFL, how does this work? The NFL is alerted whenever a player uses a mobile gaming app on his phone, per NFL Vice President and Chief Compliance Officer, Sabrina. So they're tracking them, dude. They're straight up tracking these players.
Not surprised by that at all.
So how does that work? Like they're just.
I bet you that when you are on a team, like anything, like if you're on a youth hockey team or you're a high school basketball team, I bet you I bet you like if you're on the Raiders, they just go, "What's your cell phone number?" so that we can fucking contact you. And I bet you they take all those numbers and they put them into a database. And I bet you they take all those numbers from their database and put them into an NFL database. And I bet you the NFL has a database of every number. And if anybody ever uses one to log in, it goes off.
It's nuts, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like straight up Big Brother. Now, look, the argument should be made like, I can see all sides of it. It is funny. Everything presented by some sort of gambling app. We see the commercials nonstop.
I mean, just imagine being a Saints player and walking into the Caesars Superdome. And you're just like, I'm in. My stadium is a sports book.
That's a good point.
My home field is a sports book.
Yeah.
Imagine being in Las Vegas and not being able to go, playing for the Raiders and not being able to go anywhere. Just like, can I go to Whataburger? It's like, nah, there's video poker in there.
Don't enter a sports book during the NFL season. That's a good point. I never thought about that. And for those of you so I obviously lived in Vegas. I would enter, I guess it's different. You could say I'm in a casino, not the sports book. My point is like you would go, all the cool bars, everything was in a casino.
Yeah.
Even for locals. Like a lot, like you're in a casino all the time. That's a tough rule if you're playing for the Raiders. I don't understand why if you're employed for a team, you can't bet at all. Like I'm the DB coach on the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to put a parlay on an NBA game. What does that have to do with me? So they're tracking those guys too.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucked up, man. I don't get it. But like this, I mean, we all saw this happening. They don't care though. At the end of the day, they're making billions off this. And they'll slap fines or suspend guys how they have to. So some big news happened after last episode ended, as it always does. The submersible was found imploded. So we saw that happening, which led to a call though for this show.
Okay.
Be curious what you say on this one.
Okay.
310-359-8365. That is our hotline. And this is a call related to, and before I play the call, we're going to have to decide, like, is this a normal submarine or is this the thing that we're talking about with there's 5 people in small space? But anyway, okay. I'll play the call, then we'll discuss it.
Dirty Sports, what is up? It is Lagoy calling live from the 518, originally from the 315. Just wondering, if you're on a submarine with 4 other people, and you're stuck there for 4 days, who are you bringing with you? I don't know who I'd bring with me. Definitely Crystal Marie, because her tits would hog up the whole submarine. Hey, stay dirty, boys. This is Lagoy from the 315 and the Night Record. Peace.
Savage.
Now, it feels like 5 people. It feels like this must be
that, right?
This must be, yeah, if you're on the OceanGate.
Because that was 5.
Yeah. I'm bringing small people.
Well, that's what
I'm
thought.
bringing.
I love Bill Walton, but you're too big.
Yeah. Bill Walton's not coming on. Too much oxygen. I love the idea that we're throwing it down deep into the ocean.
So that's confusing.
My favorite part of California are the beautiful mountain ranges. But do you know if you turned one of those mountains, the tallest mountain, for example, in California, upside down in the ocean, it would only reach about a 10th of the way down as deep as we're going to the Titanic. It's amazing. The ocean. It's like space, but it's wet.
Well, you had an interesting choice there, Lagoy. You said Crystal Marie, 2015 former Dirty Sports guest. Because of her tits, you say, so those are going to take up space. Which is, but talk about a throwback.
Yeah. Crystal will love to hear that you got a shout out 8 years later.
She will. See if you can. Okay, here's a Dirty Sports throwback. Who can you remember the DirtBall, the 14-year-old DirtBall who got that going to get her on the show? Because he was a fan of her YouTube channel.
No. Was
it Travis something?
Oh, okay.
He loved you.
Yeah.
Because we didn't know her at that
point. Was it Travis Watt?
Oh, deep dive. I think it was.
I think he was a Kansas dirtball.
But he was young.
Yeah. And now he's an adult.
I think it was Travis Watt. Okay, so look. So we have some comments here from Gino. Yeah. I'm bringing Wee Man, Emmanuel Lewis, the dude from Game of Thrones, Brad Williams. So you're going straight little people.
Yeah, he's going like little people. See, I was even thinking I'll bring my nephew Dean. He's small, but also he'd have the time of his life looking out the window, That's the Titanic.
So you're talking you bring children.
Yeah.
4 days, man. What are you eating? Because they obviously they died pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Have you read about this?
Oh, apparently they died in a
millisecond.
Yeah.
You can't even wrap your head around. I guess they just.
I heard some statistic the amount of time it would take for the thing to implode would be half of the amount of time for a feeling to travel from your body to your brain. So they wouldn't even know.
But I was seeing too that they basically disintegrated. It's just like a puff.
Yep.
I got to give a shout out to Hall of Fame Dirtball Stanga. He was DMing me all this stuff. Him and other Hall of Fame Dirtball Mitch were having a conversation, and he was like, "Oh, this is what we're saying," and I couldn't stop laughing because Stanga was like, "I hope somebody was on the shitter when this happened." I don't know why that made me laugh. Somebody's taking a just.
The last thought somebody has, he really blew up the bath. It's gone.
Wait, so repeat what you said. That's fascinating to me. By the time your brain understood a feeling,
by the
time my brain understands me going like this to myself.
Yeah, exactly. That's 0.04 milliseconds or something like that. And this thing happened in 0.02. So the idea was it wasn't even long enough for them to know. They wouldn't even know.
And what's crazy is
even if they recognized we're imploding, by the time it would be over before that thought even traveled to their brain.
That's insane. So there's no evidence of them existing as humans anywhere.
I think that there's potentially a debris, right? But not them Yeah, I think as far as they're like I think they're like life forms, like essentially evaporated.
That's what I'm saying. So like
Yeah.
they're basically just energy. They went to instant energy. Like, right? I don't know the science behind that, but they
Sure.
they just became energy. So if you had 4 other people, you got to go with small people. You like literally little people, or
Going with kids.
yeah, but wouldn't kids get annoying at a certain point?
Nah, because you're stuck there. You can keep them entertained. You know, you're on a submarine. You're like, wouldn't kids get annoying? Meanwhile, you're filling your submarine with Emmanuel Lewis, the star of Webster. Just some guy, like, you're stuck for 5 days. Some guy telling stories about the time he worked on a sitcom in the 80s. Everybody loved Arnold Drummond, but I was the real midget African American star.
Who was the guy Michael Jackson put on his lap? Was that Emmanuel Lewis?
Yeah.
He was like 30.
Yeah.
I might bring an adult though. Another adult. Somebody to pass it. Somebody to be interesting.
Yeah, just bring small people and then one guy with like a lot of good stories.
Yeah, I think that's what you got to do.
I think I'd bring James Cameron just in case anything went wrong. He's got tons of submarine experience.
Well, apparently he knew right away.
Yeah.
I was watching stuff with him.
He knew that they had.
Oh yeah, there's this whole interview with him, and he's like, "Dude, I knew Monday, like, everything officially came out Thursday. I knew Monday. We have there's a whole world. It's like it's a small world, but we're on an email chain and we're discussing, and we knew there was like this thing went off, and somebody heard it, and the government, or blah blah blah." And he's like, "We knew." Plus, he knew. So
Today we have 5 members from the famous Titanic sub email chain on the very special OceanGate Gate episode of Say It With Me, Vlad TV.
I guess James Cameron.
We have James Cameron. We have the daughter of famous Jacques Cousteau. We have Bill Walton for some reason. We have all the members of the famous Titanic email chain. Star of Hunt for Red October, Sean Connery.
He was asked to go down there.
Who?
James Cameron. And he was like, fuck that. Because he's been down there, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the story that they kept circulating last week, is apparently he was down there when 9/11 happened.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. Him and like Bill Paxton. And they came up and they were like, 9/11 happened.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this last episode. I
assume his response was, what's 9/11?
I just don't get it. I don't know. Also, like, I believe in like bad energy, man. Like, maybe the Titanic went down there and you shouldn't go after it because there's something in that part of the ocean. I did hear the worst take of all time. Like, dude, you want to hear bad takes, you go to a barbershop.
Okay, yeah. You heard this take at your barbershop?
Wait until you hear this. And this is like your classic old school barbershop.
You're like, Kobe Bryant never would have let that sub implode. Killer instinct. You're like, Jesus Christ, I gotta stop going to black barbershops.
So this is like your classic barbershop, only takes cash, like the whole thing. The one I went to growing up that now I'm going back to. So it's
What's the name of this barbershop?
Salem Barbershop.
Salem Barbershop.
So like the guy Randy who owned it, now his son is doing it.
Randy.
Yeah. And then like the older guy who's been there a while, he's hearing us talk about. At this point, everybody's out but me getting their hair cut. And there's only 3 chairs in there. And so at this point it's just me, and I'm like paying and leaving. He had heard me and the guy cut my hair.
I feel like at Salem Barbershop, the guy waiting for his haircut is sitting in like the waiting area reading a Playboy magazine or a Hustler or something like that. Right? Is that one of those barbershops?
No, because it's like family, like kids. Like before that, one of the kids I coached, ironically, was in there before me with his stepdad. So like, no, like, because like kids are in there. But anyway, I'm like paying the guy, and you can see the guy is in like the other side. I don't even call it a room, just a little area where there's a microwave where like they might be eating or some shit. Where you can see him. Anyway, he hears us talking about it, and he's on his vape pen. And he just decides to chime in. He goes, I'll tell you what happened. And he holds up his vape pen. He goes, I think somebody took a pull from one of these and it exploded. and I started laughing. I thought he was joking. Dead serious. And I was like, what? He goes, yeah. He goes, and he holds it up again. He's like, somebody took a hit from this and they shouldn't have down in the submarine. And it just imploded.
The literalist hot take. I love how he can only think within his own worldview.
Yeah.
How this might have happened. Well, clearly somebody was vaping. He's like, the other guy's like, nah, that's not what happened. I'll tell you what happened. Somebody forgot to unload their scissors when they came home from working and it punctured the side. Just like when that one time I got in my car with my scissors on and it punctured my seats. This is how it happened. A guy forgot to put his scissors away after working in the shop, and the scissors cut the side of the submarine open, and they died.
Well, here's the thing. He said that. No one, the other two barbers and me, we all just looked at him. No one was like,
Nah, I'll tell you what happened. Somebody forgot to sweep up all the hair at the end of the day, and it caught fire because the hair is flammable. You don't want a bunch of hair on the floor of your submarine. You got to take care of that right away. What are you guys talking about?
Dude, it was the worst take I've ever heard. I mean, that was like one of the worst takes I've ever heard.
You ever seen the water down there? It's so blue. It's like the thing we put the combs in to disinfect it. It looks just like that. Sometimes I think, what would it be like to go down into a deep, cavernous disinfectant of combs?
Next week on VladTV,
Yeah.
the Santa Barber Shop.
Today's episode of VladTV, we got 3 guys who work at the Salem Barbershop in Cincinnati. To tell us what happened on the submarine crash.
Give us a ring, guys. We're gonna wrap this up. 310-359-8365. I really appreciate that this whole episode was just a giant promo for VladTV. Like the whole episode. I guarantee you so many dirtballs are going to that YouTube channel if they haven't before.
Meanwhile, I'm never going to go to that YouTube channel.
I know. I'm going to go on a deeper dive. We're on social, The Dirty Sports. I'm at Andy Ruther. Joe Prano.
I'm at Joe Prano on all social media. JoePrano.com/shows. Shout out to a couple dirtballs who made it out to the shows up in Ventura this past weekend. Shout out to former intern Twerks with Wolves. Me and Aaron went out on Friday, played some golf, drank some Miller Lights. Our boy's about to start working for the Olympic Committee, which is exciting. It might have to be our Olympic
What's he
correspondent.
Just doing legal stuff?
Just doing some legal stuff. Making sure, these Olympians don't get themselves into legal trouble. I got shows coming up. We'll be in and around Los Angeles for the rest of June and most of July. End of July, I'll head back to New York. Keep your eye out at joeprano.com/shows or on my Instagram. Going to be doing some East Coast shows again. Atlantic City Comedy Club, August 4th and 5th. Booking some shows in New York as well. And then tons of stuff in the late summer and fall. Going to be back in Vegas. Going to be in Vegas the week of Giants at Raiders. So if you want to come to Vegas, I'll be there that week. But just keep your eye out for all of my shows. I'll be in Colorado in August. If you're in Colorado, keep your eye out. Lots of shows coming up.
Word.
Alaska again in the fall.
Just don't go killing any bears up there. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
No. What are you talking about? Somebody killing bears up there?
Why is his name? Why is the quarterback's name slipping my mind? Jesus, I'm losing my mind. Former Eagle. He played in Washington last year. Carson Wentz.
Carson Wentz. He's up in Alaska killing bears.
He killed a bear.
What an absolute fucking douche.
I agree.
That guy is.
That's my point. And then he posted it on Instagram. And of course, he's getting crazy backlash up in Alaska. And it's like, dude, why are you killing these animals? First of all, they're lovely animals. Like, what do you, like, fuck you. Yeah, that's what he did. And he's currently unemployed, for the record.
Good.
Yeah, he's a total douche, man. Anyway. Next week on Vlad.
He's like, listen, man, this is not here in Russia. We make bears dance. Okay. A little dancing bear. That's one thing. You know, we put them in ballet tutus. It's not the best, but, you know, we're not hurting them. You killing a bear, man. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
We will not be having former NFL quarterback Carson Wentz on the show anytime soon. And this is why. But if you played as many as 6 games in the NBA and want to come on and say something ridiculous, hit us up. Vlad at VladTV. I'll respond personally and book you on the show.
All right, guys, that's our show. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll be back on Thursday. Have a great week. And as always, stay dirty.